What if the way you show up in the world, your brand, your presence, the first impression you make on every single person who encounters your work was written in your chart from the moment you were born? And what if I told you that the 2 of the 10 wealthiest people on this earth share the exact same brand access in their natal charts? Wow, right? But first, if you're a coach, healer, creator, or artist building a heart-led business, come join us in the Business Astrology Hub on School. We are ranked number 44 in spirituality with over 550 members meeting live every single week. Link in the description, but if you need to know it, it is questmystic.com/school. Now, I want to show you something today that is going to completely change how you think about your brand and your ascendant, aka your rising sign. Now, let's get into it. Welcome back to Cosmic Clarity. I'm Carolina, and in this series, not I'm the series, we are decoding the astrological patterns behind extraordinary wealth and translating them into practical wisdom for coaches, healers, creators, and artists who are building heart-led businesses. And I believe that is you. This video is number 3. We started this series by looking at all the placements of each of the top 10 billionaires. Okay. And yeah, then we decoded their Chiron placements and found out about the wound to offer pattern. And today we're going to go a little bit deeper into the 2 angles that define your brand's architecture. Okay. So what is this? Well, before we get into that, let me share a little bit more about the Astrology Hub, the Business Astrology Hub on School. We are number 44 at this time in the spirituality category. This is a place for you to network, to collaborate, to gain visibility, to learn about how to grow a business using astrology, and it's free. So go to questmystic.com/school. All right. So now we go. Let's begin with the foundation of what we're talking about. In astrology, there are 2 parts. There is the ascendant, your rising sign. It is basically the mask you wear when you walk into a room, okay? It's the first impression, the outer personality, and the energy you project before anyone really knows anything about you, okay? Now, how about the core? The core of you would be the sun, and the more emotional part of you would be the moon. So the ascendant is how you present yourself. It's the brand's feel. Whereas the midheaven, this is the other part that I want to talk about, is known as the MC, or in Latin, medium coli, meaning the middle of the sky. It's the highest point in your chart. It governs your public reputation, your career calling, your legacy. It is what you are known for. And so therefore, this is your brand's mission. Together, the combination of the 2, the AC and the MC, cross and form a focal point in your chart, the place of identity and purpose. The AC is how you are experienced. The MC is what you are building toward. When you understand both, you stop trying to build your business and your brand looking like anyone else's, right? It's coming from a place of embodiment. Start building one that is architecturally aligned with who you actually are. Now, critical point here in all of this stuff, both of these points that I've calculated and looked at require you to have an exact birth time, all right? So in order to calculate this, you need to have that in hand, and which is really hard for many, but in this overall data set analysis that I've done of the billionaires, only 5 have confirmed birth times. And in 2 of those, 2 of the 5 share the exact same placements. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Let's get into that. So who are these individuals? All right. So of the 10 individuals, 5 have publicly confirmed birth times. That would be Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Bernard Arnault, Shanshan, and I'm sure I'm messing up that poor individual's name, and Warren Buffett. All right. So let's walk through each one of them. Let's start with the good old Bernard Arnault first. He is a Leo ascendant, Taurus midheaven. I call this the visible empire. Leo is royalty, visibility, being seen. Taurus midheaven is a building capable, tangible, lasting sensory wealth, and that would be LVMH. Go look it up. That is a luxury brand. It is a luxury empire, which makes completely total sense for this individual. Whereas Shanshan has an Aries midheaven, Capricorn midheaven, Aries ascendant, Capricorn midheaven. This is the bold architect, Aries boldness in service of Capricorn's, need for long game mastery here. He built his water and vaccine empire with a pioneer's courage and strategist patience. Long patience, right? That's where the Capricorn comes in. And then Warren Buffett, Sagittarius Ascendant, Libra Midheaven, the wise partner. Sagittarius Ascendant is the folksy philosopher, the teacher, the approachable sage. Libra Midheaven is wealth through partnership, deal making, and balance. And well, look at Berkshire Hathaway's, right? That he is basically, this man, Warren Buffett, is basically the Oracle of Omaha. All right, that's where he lives. And then there's Elon Musk, who has the Cancer ascendant at 13 degrees and Aries midheaven at 28 degrees. And Bill Gates, who also has a Cancer ascendant at 26 degrees and Aries midheaven at 4 degrees. These two men were born 16 years apart, and they are the two of the richest people on earth. The exact same brand placements. Fascinating, right? Now, what you need to know in all of this is that these things are calculated, right? And so it's very important for us to first get that under our belts. You need to find a birth time in order to really get these accurately calculated. However, you can use a pendulum to get that for yourself. Now, let's look at the Cancer rising. This is the brand of safety, belonging, and emotional resonance. The Cancer ascendant represents and presents a warm, approachable, and protective essence. It is the energy that makes people feel like they have come home because it's so warm for them. It is not aggressive, although we're not going to necessarily pass judgment on these individuals. They have their own shit. Sorry, but they also have the rest of the chart that could speak to other things that we may not like or appreciate. But with a Cancer ascendant, that's not really known as an aggressive or flashy thing. It is much more welcoming. It draws people in by making them feel seen, cared for, or safe. And the Cancer rising brand does not shout. It seeks to hold things. And Musk Cancer rising shows up in the way he communicates with his audience, directly, personally, often very emotionally. He's also a Cancer sun. So his Twitter X persona is not just corporate. It's not corporate. In fact, it is intimate. He is all, he does a lot of things. He makes his millions and millions of viewers feel like they're in his inner circle, whether they want to be or not. He posts memes. He responds to random accounts. That is Cancer rising. The warmth is really the strategy for him. And Gates, well, he has also Cancer rising, and it shows up in the Gates Foundation, the pivot from moving away from a ruthless tech mogul, although I'm sure he's still that in some shape or form, to global humanitarian efforts. This is the brand of a man who seems to care a lot about people, and who wants to protect the most vulnerable, who frames his wealth as a tool for belonging and safety at a global scale. All lives have equal value is something that this individual would say. That is a Cancer rising brand statement. Now, for you, if you have Cancer rising, your brand superpower is in belonging. People don't buy your product or really your services. They join because of the world that you have created, this nurturing, warm place. They feel safe with you. They feel seen. Your warmth is not unprofessional. It's very giving. It's very heart-led, and it's not too much ever, right? If anybody ever tells you that, it is your most powerful brand asset. All right, now let's talk about the next big piece that is actually pretty cool, and that would be, let me make this a little bit smaller. There we go. So the Aries Midheaven. The Midheaven is for Aries. It's the mission of the pioneer, the one who goes at things first, who builds what doesn't exist, who initiate things that haven't been done. It's the pioneer energy, over and over and over. He is known, and she or they are known for their courage and their willingness to initiate. That's the beauty of Aries. Aries MC are not known for maintaining the status quo. They are not known for refining. They are known for beginning and moving and shaking and moving and moving. Their legacy is in the categories they create, not the systems they are meant to sustain. That would be a different archetype. And so for Musk and his Aries MC, it's kind of obvious actually when you think about it, because he's known for investing and starting things that have never existed before. PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, X. He rebranded Twitter, yeah, sure, and now he's moving it into something else. We haven't seen the full version of what's to become of that. I see bigger things that he may be moving towards with that initiative. He does not compete in existing categories for the most part. However, he is someone that is definitely strategic in investing before things blow up. He creates new ones. He pioneers and moves forward, the initiator who goes first. Now, Gates with his Aries Midheaven is equally the climbing mountain ram, all right? Microsoft did not refine an existing software industry. It created the personal computing industry. Yes, it began with IBM, but he took something and then he ran with it even further, much, much, much further. Gates was the first to see that software, not necessarily hardware, was the future. And so he pioneered a category that did not exist. His Aries MC legacy is not Windows 11. It is the idea, the audacious idea that, and the unprecedented Aries idea that every person on earth would have a personal computer. That was a radical thing. And that was very and is very Aries-like. So for you, friend, if you have an Aries midheaven, your legacy is in what you start. Basically, it is in what you start. You are not here to maintain someone else's system. The fear of going first is not a sign that you are wrong. It is a sign that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Let that fear and that intuition guide you. All right, so I call this combination of the Aries and the Cancer portion of things the nurturing pioneer. When you hold those two together, you get a very specific brand type. And so for me, combining the two, the Cancer IC, Aries MC, safety is the vehicle for boldness. The one who makes you feel safe enough to go somewhere you have never been before, the one who builds the container and the mission, the one whose warmth is the vehicle for their boldness. Look at Tesla, all right? This is a brand that doesn't feel like a car company. I don't think so. It feels like more like a movement for many. Even if you hate it, people are drawn to the community and they're driven by that sense of wanting to belong to that. They make it very deeply personal. This is the Cancer ascendant in service of a mission that is genuinely unprecedented, Aries MC. So you don't just buy a Tesla. No, not many just buy a Tesla. They are joining a vision of the future. And look at Microsoft and Gates, the Gates Foundation, both wrapped up around audacious pioneer missions in the language of care, protection, and access. A computer on every desk is an Aries MC vision delivered through a Cancer rising brand, approachable, personal for everyone. The secret sauce, they use safety as the vehicle for boldness. The Cancer ascendant creates the trust. The Aries midheaven deploys that trust in a service of something unprecedented. Okay, this is a big thing to look at. All right, so what do we got here? We have the full picture of all the Ascendant and MC combinations of those that we have data for. Okay, these are Bezos, Zuckerberg, Page, Brin, and Ellison. All five of these individuals have unconfirmed or unknown known birth times, probably because they don't want their shit picked apart by us. And without an exact birth time, the Ascendant and Midheaven cannot be reliably calculated. So, of course, you could take some guess, and many do. So I have excluded them from this specific analysis, okay? What we can say is this: of the five confirmed charts, two share the Cancer AC and the Aries MC points, whether that is meaningful pattern or remarkable coincidence? Oh, you be the judge on that. I'll let you decide. What I can tell you that is that when you look at all five who have built their brands, the ACMC is not just accurate, is really pretty precise. It describes not what they do, but how they do it. All right, so let's look at something that you are doing. So this is your opportunity. This is your chart. I want you to pull this up, find your ascendant, find your midheaven. The ascendant is ASC, the midheaven is MC. Look what signs those are. If you don't have your birth time, I'll address that in a moment. But if you do, look at those two placements together and ask yourself the following three questions. All right. So question one, what does your ascendant make people feel? Not what you want them to feel, but what do they actually feel when they encounter your presence, your content, your brand? Is that aligned with your ascendant? Ask others if you don't know. Question two, what is your midheaven calling you to build? Not what are you currently building? What is the legacy your chart is pointing toward? Are you building at the scale of your midheaven? You know, what are you doing there? And then the third one, what is the gap? Look at your website. Look at your last three posts. Does your brand feel like your ascendant? Does it stand for what your MC is here to deliver and describe? If not, that gap is where your work begins. Very simple. If you don't have your birth time, your ascendant and midheaven cannot be really calculated. However, you can use a pendulum and other means such as chart rectification experts that can help you figure that out. All right. So let's go into the next big piece. And this is a little practice activation for you. 2 sentences. I want you to write them down or just take a screenshot, whatever makes you feel better. All right. So for the first one, my brand makes people feel, and then fill that out. Fill that blank with the quality of your ascendant sign. Cancer is safe, held, belonging. Leo, seen, inspired. Virgo, clear, capable, grounded. Whatever your ascendant sign's core gift is, that is your brand's emotional promise. Okay. Second, the second sentence, my brand is known for blank. Fill that blank with the mission of your midheaven sign. Aries, pioneering, going first, creating what doesn't exist. And then Taurus, for example, someone who's building lasting, tangible sensory value. Capricorn, mastery, structure, the long game. Whatever your MC sign's legacy looks like, that is what you're here to be known for. Get really comfy with it. Now, really look at your brand. Does it match? If there's a gap, and for most people there is, that gap is not, a failure. It's just not knowing. So it's a map. It's telling you exactly where to go next. And lastly, your brand is not just a marketing strategy, okay? It is a declaration of who you are. It's the most powerful brands in the world, including the ones we have been studying in the series, are powerful because they are true. It represents who they are from the inside out. They are the external expression of an internal architecture that was always there. It just hasn't been given a light for many. So Musk did not hire a consultant to tell him to make people feel like insiders. No, Gates did not run a focus group to decide to become a global humanitarian. Never. These things emerge because were already written into the chart, into the stars, and the brand followed the person. So your chart holds that architecture. The question is whether you are whether you're willing to build from it. Having the awareness of what is it that I am going to be known for and moving towards in that direction daily. All right, so what's next? In the next video, we are going to look at the second house. This is the house of money, worth, and resources. So you're definitely going to want to listen, and we're going to understand what does that look like across 5 charts, 5 billionaires charts. What planets that live there, what signs rule it, what patterns reveal about how wealth actually gets built, and what your own second house is asking you to do. Now, this is going to be very practical and very specific, so definitely subscribe to my channel, Quest Mystic here, so you don't miss it. And if you want to go deeper right now, come join us inside Business Astrology Hub on School at questmystic.com/school. There over 500 heart-led entrepreneurs, weekly live calls where astrology meets real business strategy. The link is in the description as well as right here next to me. So until next time, friend, I trust your chart. Bye.